faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. For by it the elders obtained a good report. I want to give all praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Bakakwadash. Double honors to our elders, apostles, of great millstone who taught me this truth and continue to teach me this truth. Peace and blessings to the whole for the elect and to the Israelites that scattered abroad. To you, I say Shalom. It's the brothers of Dawadah coming to you again with another lesson through the spirit of power Yahweh Bashem El Shai. Lord willing, you be edified. We'll go back to Hebrews chapter 11, verse 1. And it reads, now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. For by it the elders obtained a good report. Okay, now in this time that we're in, it's crunch time. Okay, if you've been watching and paying attention to what's going on, okay, you see by the middle of next month, which will be September of 2021, they already said that the military would have to be jabbed up. Okay, and you know, Esau takes great pride in his military. Okay, now if he's going to jab up his military, how much more just civilians, I should say. Okay, you see the governor of New York resigning, you know, today, which would be Salakia. We're in the month of August, okay, of 2021, okay, and he resigning for violating women, all right, being very perverted, okay, touching and feeling on co-workers, you know, that are beneath him, you know, and they came to the light and told on him, you know, and now he's stepping down. Okay, Esau is being brought down low. Okay, the Lord is literally taking him out of power, and he has no control of it. Okay, which is why he's going to come down with great wrath, because he knows he has a short time. Okay, which is why we have to be much more circumspect, now so more than ever. Okay, our faith has to be on 1,000. Okay, much more now so than ever. Okay, how we walk, okay, amongst the world. Okay, we have to take we have to tread lightly. Okay, because they're going to be out for the men of the Lord. Okay, the believers of the Lord. Okay, and this is the last rodeo. All right, and seeing that this is the last rodeo, he's going to go out with a bang. Okay, and the Lord's going to allow him to go out with a bang. Okay, he's going to throw the book at everybody. Yeah, as the world says. All right, and which is why I entitled this lesson, "Walk by Faith and Not by Sight." Okay, and that's what we have to do. We have to walk by faith and not by sight. Okay, not being worried about the things that we see, because the Lord said we're going to see things. Okay, we're going to see a lot of disturbing things. We're going to be in the most uncomfortable state that we've ever been in our lives, until He comes back, until the Lord, our Lord Yahweh Shai comes back. Okay, but He also said that He's going to deliver us out of those uncomfortable situations. Okay, if you believe, He's going to get you out of those situations. Okay, here it is today. What is it, August 10th? August 10th, okay? And they just put out that the Pentagon has this CHIP that could detect the virus. Okay, that could take the solution inside of you. Okay, the Vanessa inside of you. Before you know you even get symptoms. Doesn't that sound like Revelation 13 and 16? Okay, because that's what it sounds like to me. And the Lord said anybody who takes that will be destroyed. All right. So you got two choices here. You gonna side with the Lord, or you gonna side with the devil. You know, and that devil being Esau, Edom. Okay, the so-called white man. It's coming down to the wire, man. We already here. We here, and everybody can see it. Everybody can see it. And you're going to have to make a choice. Are you going to stand in your integrity and walk by faith and not by sight? Or are you going to give in and take it? And continue to live for just a moment. Because not everybody who don't take it is going to pass away. The Lord's not going to, it's only a certain amount of people that the Lord's going to use as martyrs, okay, for His name's sake, okay, that doesn't bow down to the image of Baal. And you have to be fully persuaded in your mind, okay, that this is the truth and this is what you're going to do. That you're going to believe in Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Okay? Now I just want to get a couple scriptures, touching on faith and having faith. Okay? And some stories of old, of men, okay, and women who had faith in the Lord. Who truly believed and trusted in the Lord. Without a shadow of a doubt. Okay? And Lord willing, to be faith boosters unto you. Okay? For in that time. Okay? We're going to have to walk by faith and not by sight. Okay? As the world says, strap on your seatbelts. You're in for a bumpy ride. Okay? This will be a bumpy ride. But through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemel Shah, you will get through it. You jump on a plane and as you taking off, it's bumpy, right? But eventually it goes away. Once you get off in the air, once you take off, everything becomes calm and peaceful. Because you're just coasting through the air. This light affliction is only for but a moment. Okay? But you have to be fully persuaded, okay, and trust and believe and have faith in the Lord that He's going to get you through these times, okay? Because this is the power of His left hand. It has nothing to do with Esau. He has no control over anything. You have to remember that, okay? When you're in that time, you have to remember it's not Esau doing it, it's the Lord. And that's what's going to keep you calm, it's what's going to keep you sane, that's what's going to keep you grounded. Okay? Knowing that this is the Lord doing it. It has nothing to do with anybody else. On the left-hand side. Alright? So the dictionary.com of faith is belief in the Most High, or in the doctrines or teachings of religion. Okay? And we know this isn't a religion, we're just spiritual people. Okay? So belief in the Most High or in the doctrines or teachings of spirituality. Okay? We're all just spirits, and we all belong to the Lord. Now that's the worldly definition. But as I read it in the beginning of the video, Hebrews 11:1 and 2. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for. Okay, the confidence of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Okay, you have to believe in what you can't see. You have no faith if you're believing in what you see. It's there. Why do you have to believe in it? You know? The etymology definition is faithfulness to a trust or promise. Okay, we're having faith to the trust in the Lord. We're having faith in the trust in the Lord. Okay, and to that promise that He had given us to our forefathers. All right. Loyalty to a person. Okay. We know the Lord is not a person; He's a spirit. Okay, so loyalty to the Lord. Okay. And His only begotten Son. Okay. Loyalty to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. Honesty, truthfulness. Trust. Faith, confidence, reliance. Okay, to rely on the Lord. Prudence, belief, okay, to confide or persuade. Okay, we confide in the Lord. All right. So I just want to give out a couple scriptures, okay, stories of old, okay, of men of old who wholeheartedly put their trust in the Lord, okay, and got them through those times, okay, because the Lord is literally gonna put us through things. Okay, and it's not gonna just be no easy road. We're literally gonna be put through things to show our faith and trust in the Lord. The Lord is a very dramatic being. He does things in dramatic fashion, so His name could be set on high. And if you're not fully persuaded that He's going to bring you through whatever He puts you through, you're going to fold in that time. Your faith will be shot. You will lose all faith in that time. That's why you have to be fully persuaded that this is the truth and this is what you're going to do unto death. That you're not going to fold into death. Okay? Because these great men of old didn't fold into death. Alright? So we're going to go to Daniel. Okay? Chapter 6. And I'm going to start at 4. Alright? And it reads, Then the presidents and princes sought to find occasion against Daniel concerning the kingdom, but they could find none occasion nor fault. For as much as he was faithful, neither was there any error or fault found in him. Okay? Daniel is a great man of the Lord. Okay? And they couldn't find no fault in Daniel. Okay? Daniel's a true man of the Lord. And they didn't like that they couldn't find no fault in him. Okay. There is then said these men, we shall not find any occasion against this Daniel, except we find it against him concerning the law of his power. Okay, because Daniel wasn't gonna, he wasn't bound down to the image of Baal. Okay, he wasn't serving the power that government in that time wanted him to serve. Okay, and Daniel wouldn't do it. 6 reads, then these president and princes assembled together to the king and said thus unto him, King Darius, live forever. All the presidents of the kingdom, the governors and the princes, and the counselors and the captains have consulted together to establish a royal statute and to make a firm decree that whosoever shall ask a petition of any power or man for 30 days, save of thee, O king, he shall be cast into the den of lions. Okay? Now, this is pretty much going into, like I said, Daniel not giving in to serving other powers. I said, okay, except the Lord, Yahweh Shem Shah. Okay, he was a man of the Lord. Okay, and he knew the Lord. Okay, which is why he wouldn't bow down to the image of Baal. Okay. And if you did, okay, you would get thrown into the den of lions, as it just read. Okay. Verse 8 it reads, now, O king, establish the decree and sign the writing that it be not changed, according to the law of the Medes and Persians, which altereth not. Okay, so this right here is also an unrighteous decree. Okay, this here is an unrighteous decree. Having someone serve and reverence a power, an entity, a deity that they don't believe in. Okay, forcing them to do that, that's an unrighteous decree. It's no different from now with the jab. Okay, with Vanessa, you're forcing somebody, you're forcing people to take it. Okay, unwillingly. That's unrighteous decree. That's why it's no new thing under the sun. It reads, wherefore King Darius signed the writing and the decree. Okay, and King Darius, okay, obviously was the head dude in charge at the time. Alright, it reads, now when Daniel knew that the writing was signed, he went into his house, and his windows being open. This is bold, okay? Salakia, this is this is being bold at an all-time high. Okay. Daniel went into his house. Okay, he went to his house, and his windows being open in his chamber. Okay, his windows being open in his house toward Jerusalem, which is to the east. Okay, we always pray to the east unto the Lord Yahweh Shem Shai. Excuse me, Salakia. Toward Jerusalem to the east, he kneeled upon his knees 3 times a day and prayed and gave thanks before his power, as he did aforetime before. This was nothing new for Daniel. Okay, to his power, Yahweh Shem Shai. He's not going to serve another power. This is bold. Okay, his windows was open. He wasn't trying to hide anything. Okay, he didn't care that anyone seen him. Verse 11, then these men assembled and found Daniel praying and making supplication before his power. Then they came near and spake before the king as concerning the king's decree. Hast thou not signed a decree that every man that shall ask a petition of any power or man within 30 days, save of thee, O king, shall be cast into the den of lions? The king answered and said, the thing is true, according to the law of the Medes and the Persians, which altereth not, which changes not. Then answered they and said before the king that Daniel, which is of the captivity of the children of Judah, regardeth not thee, O king, nor the decree that thou hast signed, but maketh his petition 3 times a day. Okay, so they over there, they literally snitching on Daniel. Okay, but Daniel didn't care. He obviously didn't care because he left his windows open while he did it. He didn't care who seen him. Okay, he wasn't ashamed, and he was. That's a bold statement. That's a bold statement saying that I'm going to serve my power, regardless of who sees me. 14 reads, Then the king, when he heard these words, was sorely pleased with himself, and set his heart on Daniel to deliver him. And he labored till the, because let me just keep going. And he labored till the going down of the sun to deliver him. Okay, King Darius, he liked Daniel. Okay, he favored Daniel. Okay, which is why he made Daniel the president overall. Okay, so he felt a certain way when he heard that Daniel was doing this thing. So like it. All right. It reads, Then these men assembled unto the king, and said unto the king, Know, O king, that the law of the Medes and Persians is that no decree nor statute which the king established may be changed. Then the king commanded, and they brought Daniel and cast him into the den of lions. Now the king spake and said unto Daniel, Thy power whom thou servest continually, he will deliver thee. And a stone was brought and laid upon the mouth of the den, and the king sealed it with his own signet, and with the signet of his lords, that the purpose might not be changed concerning Daniel. Then the king went to his palace and passed the night fasting. Neither were instruments of music brought before him, and his sleep went from him. Okay, so they put Daniel in the lion's den. Okay, and I'm not gonna read everything. I'm just gonna stop there. If you're gonna continue to read, then you can find it. Daniel chapter 6, but needless to say, if you know the story, Daniel was in there meditating the whole time on the Lord with those lions. Okay, and those lions, they hadn't even fed those lions, so those lions was starving. They were hungry. Okay, but the Lord put the spirit on those lions and shut the lions' mouth. Okay, that they wouldn't touch Daniel. That they couldn't touch Daniel. Okay, and Daniel put all his trust in the Lord. Okay, he believed in the Lord. He knew the Lord. Okay, and he was a man after the Lord's heart. Okay, and in doing so, his faith showed that he didn't care about being put in the lion's den. Okay, he said, "Oh, this is the decree. If any man bows down to another power, you're gonna get thrown in the lion's den." He went back to his house, opened his windows, start praying to the Lord, so he can show you that I'm not gonna stop praying to the Lord. I'm not gonna stop believing in the Lord. That's brave. That's a bold statement right there, and that's how we ought to be in this time. We're gonna have to be bold. Okay, knowing that the Lord Yahweh Shai has us in everything we do. Okay, we don't care what man can do. Okay, we don't care what man says, because you bleed just like us. And anything that you do is sanctioned by the Lord Yahweh Shai. And we know that, which is why we're going to stand boldly and confess in the sight of our enemies that we're going to continue to believe in the Lord and do what He asks us to do. Okay. right, so we're gonna go to another uh, uh, story of great men. Okay, which would be the three men, uh, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Okay, that's gonna be in Daniel chapter 3. Okay, and all these stories, I'm sure you heard of. Okay, but these aren't the only stories of great faith that the men of the Lord has. But I'm just going to just name a few. Okay, this will be in Daniel as well. Okay, chapter 3, and I'm going to start at 13. And it reads, Then Nebuchadnezzar, okay, which was the king at the time, okay, in his rage and fury, commanded to bring Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Then they brought these men before the king, okay, because they wouldn't bow down to the image. They wouldn't serve the graven image that King Nebuchadnezzar had, set up. 14 reads, Nebuchadnezzar spake and said unto them, Is it true, O Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego? Do not ye serve my gods, nor worship the golden image which I have set up? Now if ye be ready, that at what time ye hear the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, and dulcimer, and all kinds of music, ye fall down and worship this image which I have made. Well, but if ye worship not, ye shall be cast the same hour into the midst of a fiery furnace. And who is that power that shall deliver you out of my hands? Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego answered and said to the king, O Nebuchadnezzar, we are not careful to answer thee in this matter. If it be so, our power whom we serve is able to deliver us from the burning fiery furnace, and he will deliver us out of thine hand, O king. But if not, be it known unto thee, O king, that we will not serve thy powers, nor worship the golden image which thou hast set up. Okay, so he's telling you, yo, listen, I'm serving our power, my power, okay? And he's going to deliver us out of it. And even if he doesn't deliver us out of it, we're still not going to serve your power. So be it, okay? Do what it is that you're going to do to us, okay? Because we're not serving your power. 19, it reads, Then was Nebuchadnezzar full of fury, was mad, and the form of his visage, I think that's how you pronounce it, visage was changed against Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Therefore he spake and commanded that they should heat the furnace 7 times more than it was wont to be heat. Okay, make it even hotter. Okay, because he felt disrespected. Okay, rightfully so. He was a king at the time, you know. And if the king says do this, you do it. Because he's the ruler over you. But they were against him. Okay, they're against serving a graven image, a false god. Okay, a false power. All right, in 20 it reads, And he commanded the most mighty men that were in his army that to bind Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego and to cast them into the burning fiery furnace. Then these men were bound in their coats, their hosen, and their hats, and their other garments, and were cast in the midst of the burning fiery furnace. Therefore, because the king's commandment was urgent, and the furnace exceeding hot, the flame of the fire slew those men that took up Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. So I'm just, that's the Lord, man. Those men that casted them into the furnace, they got burnt up. Okay, because how hot it was. Okay, he slew those men that took them up. Okay, you don't touch the Lord's apple. You don't touch the apple of the Lord's eye. Okay, and that's a perfect example right there. You don't do it. All right. It says, and these 3 men, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, fell down, bound into the midst of the burning fiery furnace. Then Nebuchadnezzar the king was astonished. So I'm trying to pronounce that word. Astonished. It rose up in haste, like quickly, and spake and said unto his counselors, Did not we cast 3 men bound in the midst of the fire? They answered and said unto the king, True, O king. He answered and said, Lo, I see 4 men loose walking in the midst of the fire, and they have no hurt. And they have no hurt, and the form of the fourth is like the Son of Power, Son of the Most High. Then Nebuchadnezzar came near to the mouth of the burning fiery furnace, and spake and said, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, ye servants of the Most High Power, come forth and come hither. Then Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego came forth in the midst of the fire. Okay, so that's walking by faith and not by sight. Okay, that sight being that fiery furnace. Okay, you like, the carnal, the flesh gonna be like, oh, oh man, like I'm about to, get burnt alive. Okay, but that faith is like, listen, whether I gotta get burnt alive or not, okay, I'm going in there. Okay, and and this I gotta show my faith to the Lord. I gotta be a testament, okay, unto the Lord, that I'm not gonna fold or I'm not gonna bow down to the image of Baal. Okay, and that's what those men did. All 3 men were on one page. They were on one accord. Okay, not going to bow down. Okay, whether their life got to be taken away, so be it. Okay, because they know the Lord and they believe in reincarnation. Okay, because reincarnation is true. So that wasn't going to bother them. They know they would come back eventually. Okay. So let's go to story of Susanna. Okay, that's going to be an apocrypha. All right. That is going to be in the apocrypha. Right. And I'm just going to start at a certain spot. Well, actually, I'm going to read like the beginning of it, and then I'm just going to jump to certain verses, because just to prove the point. Alright, and it reads, There dwelt a man in Babylon called Joachim, and he took a wife whose name was Susanna, the daughter of Chalcias, a very fair woman, and one that feared the Lord. Okay, fair meaning, she was fine, she looked good. Her parents also were righteous and taught their daughter according to the law of Moses. Okay, how a woman should be, what a woman should be doing. Okay, as a woman of the Lord. All right. Now Joachim was a great rich man and had a fair garden joining unto his house, and to him resorted the Jews, because he was more honorable than all others. The same year were appointed 2 of the ancients of the people to be judges, such as the Lord spake of, that wickedness came from Babylon from ancient judges, who seemed to govern the people. These kept much at Joachim's house, and all that had any suits in law came unto them. Now when the people departed away at noon, Susanna went into her husband's garden to walk, and the 2 elders saw her going in every day and walking, so that their lust was inflamed toward her. Okay, so they pretty much lusted after Susanna. Okay, these 2 men. Okay, every day that she would walk into the garden, okay, they would lust after her. All right. Now I'm not gonna keep reading. I'm gonna jump over to verse 19, and it reads, Now when the maids were gone forth, the 2 elders rose up and ran unto her, saying, Behold, the garden doors are shut, that no man can see us, and we are in love with thee. Therefore consent unto us and lie with us. So they were trying to have sex with her. Okay, saying that the garden doors are closed, nobody can see us in here. Okay, we have privacy. All right. 21 reads, If thou wilt not, we will bear witness against thee that a young man was with thee, and therefore thou didst send away thy maids from thee. So they said, we're going to lie. Okay, we're going to lie on you if you don't sleep with us, and say that you was with another man while your husband was gone. Okay, and we saw this from a distance. Then Susanna sighed and said, I am straitened on every side, for if I do this thing, it is death unto me, and if I do it not, I cannot escape your hands. Yeah, okay, because we know that men are powerful than women. Okay, and if they really wanted to, they could have their way with her, because she's not able to take on both men. All right. It says 23 reads, "It is better for me to fall into your hands and not do it than to sin in the sight of the Lord." Okay, she's a woman of the Lord. She has faith in the Lord. She believes in the Lord, and she knew that if she did that, she would catch hell from the Lord. Okay, rightfully so. 24 reads, "With that, Susanna cried with a loud voice, and the two elders cried out against her." All right. So I'm going to jump to 28 and reads, "And it came to pass the next day when the people were assembled to her husband Joachim, the two elders came also full of mischievous imagination against Susanna to put her to death." Okay, so they just made up just a whole a crazy lie, pretty much. They made up a crazy lie, a mischievous imagination, a crazy lie, and that they were going to bring forth, to the council, okay, to lie on her. All right. 29 reads, "And said before the people, send for Susanna, the daughter of Chelcias, Joachim's wife. And so they sent. So she came with her father and mother and her children and all her kindred. Now Susanna was a very delicate woman and beauteous to behold. She was beautiful. And these wicked men commanded to uncover her face, for she was covered, that they might be filled with her beauty." So they wanted to see her, because that's how our women were supposed to be at the time. You're supposed to be covered up, okay? Not how it is today, with these tight, the tight apparel, okay, the booty shorts, high tank tops or whatever, showing your stomach and stuff like that. Okay, you're not supposed to be doing that. That's just supposed to be for your man to see. All right, but this is Eve's queendom as well as Esau, so they get to do what they want. But anyway, Salaki 33. "Therefore her friends and all that saw her wept. Then the two elders stood up in the midst of the people and laid their hands upon her head, and she, weeping, looked up towards heaven, for her heart trusted in the Lord." That's that faith. "And the elders said, As we walked in the garden alone, this woman came in with two maids and shut the garden doors and sent the maids away. Then a young man who there was hid came unto her and lay with her. Then we that stood in the corner of the garden, seeing this wickedness, ran unto them. And when we saw them together, the man we could not hold, for he was stronger than we, and opened the door and leaped out. But having taken this woman, we asked who the young man was, but she would not tell us. These things do we testify." So they just made up a lie. That was the lie that they made up together. Okay? All right, 41. It reads, "Then the assembly believed them as those that were the elders and judges of the people, so they condemned her to death. Then Susanna cried out with a loud voice and said, O everlasting power, that knowest the secrets and knowest all things before they be, that thou knowest that they have borne false witness against me." Yeah, bear false witness. Okay, they was lying on her. She knew that. And she's praying out to the Lord, saying that, you seen this. You see that they doing this to me, and I didn't do anything that they're talking about. Okay, and behold, I must die, whereas I never did such things, as these men have maliciously invented against me. And the Lord heard her voice. Therefore, when she was led to be put to death, the Lord raised up the Holy Spirit of a young youth whose name was Daniel. Okay? Yeah, Daniel. Who cried with a loud voice, I am clear from the blood of this woman. Okay? So the Lord put the Spirit in Daniel, okay, to have her back. Okay? And I'm not going to continue to read on. That's enough. I just wanted to get, pretty much straight to the point. Okay? But I wanted to bring forth, the story. Okay? And Daniel went ahead and pretty much did like, I would just say his own investigation. Okay? And had them separate. Okay? And asked them questions. Okay? To see if their story would be on the same accord. Okay? And their stories weren't on the same accord. Okay? And that's how he got them. That's how he were able he was able to catch them up in a lie. Okay, and those men got put to death because they lied upon Susanna. Okay, she did nothing wrong. All right, and that's the spirit of the Lord. That's the faith that you have to have. The Lord can use anybody. Okay, to have your back to do His will. Okay, and that's why you can't fold, you can't bend nor break. Okay, no matter what it is, because the Lord can set up anybody He wants to help you. Okay, in your time of trouble. Okay, the Lord is purposely going to put us in situations that way we can call upon His name to get us out of it. Okay, because He's worthy to be praised, He's worthy to be honored. All right. So don't think that that you're just being put in this crazy situation for nothing. No, the Lord wants to see how you're going to react and what you're going to do about being put in that situation. Are you going to fold? Are you going to give up? Okay, because we know that the Lord is a power of long suffering. Okay, so you have to just hold on for as long as the Lord wants you to hold on. Okay, and don't give in. Okay, you gotta remember, we have the cheat sheet. We know that this is gonna happen. This is why you have to prepare your mind for it to happen. That way you're not gonna get caught off guard when it happens, because you already knew that this was gonna happen to you. Okay, opposed to those 2/3 in the other nations that don't know anything. They don't know why they're being put in this situation, and they're not gonna have a way to get out of it either. Okay, because when the Lord called, they didn't answer. All right. Let's go to 1 Samuel 17. Ooh, excuse me. 1 Samuel 17 and 12. Okay. And it reads, Now David was the son of that Ephrathite of Bethlehem, Judah, whose name was Jesse, and he had 8 sons, and the man went among men for an old man in the days of Saul. Slakia. And the 3 eldest sons of Jesse went and followed Saul to the battle, and the names of his 3 sons that went to the battle were Eliab, the firstborn, and next unto him Abinadab, and the third Shammah. Okay. And David was the youngest, and the 3 eldest followed Saul. But David went and returned from Saul to feed his father's sheep at Bethlehem. Okay. So this is, you already know, this is going into the story of David and Goliath. Okay, and I'm not going to read the whole chapter. I'm just going to jump to key points. Okay, just to prove the point of what David's faith was. Okay, because he was a man of the Lord. Okay, and he was the youngest of 8 brothers. All right. So we're gonna jump to 23. All right, and it reads, And as he talked with them, behold, there came up the champion, the Philistine of Gath, Goliath by name, out of the armies of the Philistines, and spake according to the same words. And David heard them, and all men of Israel, when they saw the man, fled from him, and they were so afraid, because Goliath was huge. Goliath was a giant. Okay. And the men of Israel, have ye seen this man that is come up? Surely to defy Israel is he come up. And it shall be that the man who killeth him, the king will enrich him with great riches, and will give him his daughter, and make his father's house free in Israel. Okay. Pretty much you wouldn't have to pay, taxes or things of that nature. He wasn't really getting taxed, but I don't want to use that word, but he would, you wouldn't have to pay for anything, pretty much. All right. 26, it reads, And David spake to the men that stood by him, saying, What shall be done to the man that killeth his Philistine, and taketh away the reproach from Israel? For who is the uncircumcised Philistine, that he should defy the armies of the living power? And the people answered him after this manner, saying, So shall it be done to the man that killeth him. So whoever kills this man, okay, is going to get the king's daughter. Okay, it's not going to have to pay. His house won't have to pay anything. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna jump to 32. Alright, and it reads, And David said to Saul, Let no man's heart fail because of him. Thy servant will go and fight with this Philistine. And Saul said to David, Thou art not able to go against the Philistine to fight with him, for thou art but a youth, and he a man of war from his youth. Okay, so they saying, Goliath was has been a man of war since he was young. Okay, and you're too young to fight him. Okay, you don't have no experience. Okay, you're not able to defeat Goliath. Okay. And Saul said to David, Thou art not able to go against this Philistine to fight with him, for thou art but a youth, and he a man of war from his youth. And David said unto Saul, Thou servant kept his father's sheep, and there came a lion and a bear, and took a lamb out of the flock. And I went out after him, and smote him, and delivered it out of his mouth. And when he arose against me, I caught him by his beard, and smote him, and slew him. Okay, so he's like, what are you talking about? I've done these things before. I killed a lion and a bear. Okay, so how much more? Goliath. I can do this. Okay. 36 reads, Thy servant slew both the lion and the bear, and this uncircumcised Philistine shall be as one of them, seeing he had defied the armies of the living power. So he said, just as much as I killed this bear and this lion, how much more Goliath? Okay, he can catch the smoke too. He can get the smoke too, pretty much. All right. 37 it reads, David said, Moreover, the Lord Yahweh Shem Shai that delivered me out of the paw of the lion and of the paw of the bear, he will deliver me out of the hand of the Philistine. And Saul said unto David, Go, and the Lord Yahweh Shem Shai be with thee. So he said, okay, go ahead then. All right, you believe that the Lord is going to bring you through this? Go ahead and go ahead and fight against Goliath. Okay, and we already know the story behind this. Okay, David won. Okay, David was a youth at the time seeking the Lord's heart. Okay, and he knew that everybody was carnal. Okay, the story reads that he read, in the name of the Lord, I will smite thee. Roughly paraphrasing. He said he knew that through the spirit of power, Yahweh Shem Shai would be the only reason why he would be able to defeat Goliath, and that was the reason. Okay, and that's the faith that we have to have. Okay, don't matter what befalls us, big or small. Big or small, that we continue in the faith of the Lord, no matter what. All right. So I'm gonna just close this out with one more scripture. Okay. And this will be in the book of Genesis. All right, 22. And I'm gonna start at the top. All right. Genesis 22. And I'm going to start at the top, and it reads, And it came to pass after these things that the Most High did tempt Abraham. Okay, one of our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Okay. And it came to pass after these things that the Most High did tempt Abraham, and said unto him, Abraham. And he said, Behold, here I am. And he said, Take now thy son, thine only son Isaac, whom thou lovest, and get thee into the land of Moriah, and offer him there for a burnt offering upon one of the mountains which I tell thee of. And Abraham rose up early in the morning, and saddled his ass, and took two of his young men with him, and Isaac his son, and clave the wood for the burnt offering, and rose up and went unto the place of which the Most High had told him. Then on the third day Abraham lifted up his eyes, and saw the place afar off. And Abraham said unto his young men, Abide you here with the ass, and I and the lad will go yonder and worship, and come again to you. And Abraham took the wood of the burnt offering, and laid it upon Isaac his son. And he took the fire in his hand and a knife, and they went both of them together. And Isaac spake unto Abraham his father, and said, my father. And he said, Here am I, my son. And he said, Behold the fire and wood, but where is the lamb for a burnt offering? And Abraham, my son, and Abraham said, My son, the Most High will provide himself a lamb for a burnt offering. So they went both of them together. Okay, so Isaac's like, where's the lamb? Okay, Isaac didn't know nothing about what was to happen, okay, at all. Verse 9, and they came to the place which the Most High had told him of, and Abraham built an altar there, and laid the wood in order, and bound Isaac his son, and laid him on the altar upon the wood. And Abraham stretched forth his hand, and took the knife to slay his son. And the angel of the Lord, Yahweh Shai, called unto him out of heaven, and said, Abraham, Abraham. And he said, Here am I. And he said, Lay not thine hand upon the lad, neither do thou anything unto him. For now I know that thou fearest the Most High, seeing thou hast not withheld thy son, thine only son, from me. Okay, now that's the type. Now that's, okay. I don't have kids, okay, but you have to listen. Listen close. The Lord don't care how much you love your kids. Okay? The Lord does not care how much you love your kids. If it wasn't for the Lord, you wouldn't have your kids. Okay? I don't have kids, but when I tell you that the Lord could put you in a situation just as Abraham, okay? Not purposely to kill your son or your daughters, but to have them taken away from you, out of your hands, for a certain amount of time. And you have to have the faith as Abraham did. Abraham didn't even question the Lord. He didn't ask him why. Okay? He didn't, doubt or fear. He just did it. Okay? Now you men and women who have children could possibly get put in this situation. And that's the reality of it. You're going to have to suck that shit up. Okay? And have the faith of the Lord to know that this has to happen. Because something like this happens to you, it ain't for no reason. It's to happen because the Lord, he's trying your faith. And you have to be able to withstand something of that nature, such as losing your child on this side. Because just as much as we're not promised to see salvation on this side, your children aren't promised to see salvation on this side either. Because you don't know who your children were back in the day. Okay? Which is why you have to have faith. Okay? Which is why your faith has to be on a trillion. Okay? Your faith has to be on very high, okay, in order to withstand what's about to happen. And you have to know, without a shadow of a doubt, that if your kids get taken away from you, that you're going to get them right back. Whether it don't be on this side, or if it do, you have to know that you're going to get them right back. Right? You have to know that, and you can't doubt the Lord or question him if you don't get him back. Okay? And you can't lose faith if the Lord takes your kids from you. Okay? Because Abraham didn't even question the Lord. Abraham was about to kill his own son for the Lord. All right? That's the faith that we have to have. And that's the reality of it. And you got to deal with it. Those aren't your kids. They don't belong to you. All right? And once you get that through your head, everything else will be much more smoother. Okay? So I want to thank the Lord for giving me the spirit to do this lesson. I want to give all praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to our elders, apostles, a great millstone who taught me the truth and continue to teach me this truth. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect. All right. Our faith has to be on 10, man. 100, 100, 100, 100. Okay, and you can't fold, bend, or break. Okay, you have to overcome adversity and to persevere through the persecution, because you're not promised to have your kids with you. You don't know how this is about to happen. All you have is the faith in the Lord with your kids and without your kids. All right. So with that, I want to say Shalom and Abba Kwam Yasharallah.